Deuteronomy 4 Part 2. Guard yourselves, lest you forget the covenant of Yahuah your Alahim, which he made with you, and shall make for yourselves a carved image in the form of whatever Yahuah your Alahim has forbidden you. For Yahuah your Alahim is a consuming fire, a jealous Al. When you bring forth children and grandchildren, and shall grow old in the land, and shall do corruptly, and make a carved image in the form of whatever, and shall do what is evil in the eyes of Yahuah your Alahim to provoke him, I shall call the Shemayim and Arets to witness against you on that Yom, that you soon completely perish, from the land which you pass over the Yarden to possess. You do not prolong your Yomim in it, but are completely destroyed. And Yahuah shall scatter you among the peoples, and you shall be left few in number among the Guim, where Yahuah drives you. And there you shall serve mighty ones, the work of men's hands, wood and stone, which neither see nor hear nor eat nor smell. But from there you shall seek Yahuah your Alahim, and shall find, when you search for him with all your heart and with all your being. In your distress, when all these words shall come upon you in the latter Yomim, then you shall return to Yahuah your Alahim, and shall obey his voice. For Yahuah your Alahim is a compassionate Al. He does not forsake you, nor destroy you, nor forget the covenant of your fathers, which he swore to them. For ask now of the Yomim that are past, which were before you, since the Yom that Alahim created man on the Arets, and ask from one end of the Shamayim to the other end of the Shamayim, whether there has been a word as great as this, or has been heard like it. Has a people heard the voice of Alahim speaking out of the midst of the fire, as you have heard, and live? Or has Alahim tried to go and take for himself a nation from the midst of a nation, by trials and by signs and by wonders and by battle, and by a strong hand and an outstretched arm, and by great fearsome actions, according to all that Yahuah your Alahim did for you in Mitzrim before your eyes? You have been shown it, to know that Yahuah himself is Alahim. There is no one beside him. From the Shamayim he let you hear his voice, to instruct you, and on Arets he showed you his great fire, and you heard his words out of the midst of the fire. And because he loved your fathers, therefore he chose their seed after them, and brought you out of Mitzrim with his presence, with his great power, to drive out from before you Goyim greater and stronger than you, to bring you in, to give you their land as an inheritance, as it is today. And you shall know today, and shall recall to your heart, that Yahuah himself is Alahim, in the Shamayim above, and on the Arets beneath. There is none else. And you shall guard his laws and his commands, which I command you today, so that it is well with you and with your children after you, and so that you prolong your Yomim on the soil which Yahuah your Alahim is giving you for all time. Then Mushah separated 3 cities beyond the Yarden toward the rising of the sun, for him who killed someone to flee there, he who kills his neighbor unintentionally without having hated him in time past, and might flee to one of these cities and live. Betzer in the wilderness, in the level land, for the Rabbanites, and Ramoth in Gilead for the Gadites, and Golan in Bashan for the Menashites. And this is the Torah which Mushah set before the children of Yisrael. These are the witnesses and the laws and the directives which Mushah spoke to the children of Yisrael after they came out of Mitzrim, beyond the Yarden, in the valley opposite Beit Peor, in the land of Sikon king of the Amorites, who dwelt at Keshbon, whom Mushah and the children of Yisrael had smitten after they came out of Mitzrim. And they took possession of his land, and the land of Og king of Bashan, 2 kings of the Amorites, who were beyond the Yarden, toward the rising of the sun, from Aroer, which is on the bank of the Wadi Arnon, even to Mount Sion, which is Kermon, and all the desert plain beyond the Yarden, as far as the sea of the Arabah, below the slopes of Pisgah.